Hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to Poliglotar Rio. And we will have the first presentations for the afternoon today. First one is Luana Pires Fernandes. She will talk about interpreting celebrities on TV. Please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being here, and especially to my friends who have been here for so many times listening to me talk about the same thing. So I try to change so that this talk is more related to you guys to this event. Well, my name is Luana Pires Fernandes. I am an interpreter, translator, localization manager, and I am the CEO of the company We Love Translation. Yeah, We Love Translation. And the name of the company is because I really love translation. I chose to be a translator when I was 14 years old, and I have been doing this since then. So about 18 years I have been a translator, and I have been working as an interpreter for about 8 years. And I'm really, really passionate about cultures and languages, linguistics, literature, everything about it. I don't know anything else. This is all I know. And as an interpreter, of course, I have to study a lot of things, but this is what I really love. And this is my Instagram page. So I'm here today talking to you because it seems like I'm a specialist in media interpreting. And my first job on TV was back in 2016 on the Danilo Gentili talk show on SBT, The Noite. Have anybody never heard about it? Like you yesterday, you told me? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The show has been airing for about 10 years, and I have been working there as an interpreter for 7 years. And I also coordinate other TV shows because after the Noite, then I started to be recommended and for all the TV producers. So I have worked in Programa da Maísa, Eliana, Faustão na Band, and Podpah, a podcast. Have you heard about it? Yeah. Yes. So we did 2 episodes there with simultaneous translation, and the last one was very, very successful with Chris Hemsworth, the Thor, Thor. So it was crazy what happened. Okay, and there in the Noite, we have translated over, six different languages. So Spanish, wait a minute, Italian, and Robson has been there. Where is he? Oh, yeah, Robson already interpreted there this year, right? But I'm showing his Sapavoni because I don't know, maybe people know her more. I don't know, do you know her? She has a very, very famous song. You can search it later. And also we translated Korean, right? Japanese 3 times, and English, of course.
What more so for them,
Okay.
Can you go back to the Korean?
To the Korean.
Yeah, because I was not showing. Yeah.
Okay. So this band is NCT Dream, a K-pop band. So I only translate in English and Portuguese, but I hire interpreters to translate the other languages that I mentioned. So I coordinate the interpreters and also all the technical parts that happens there because, it's a TV, but sometimes they don't know exactly what to do with simultaneous translation. So I have to be there to check all the technical aspects. And I have translated already over 100 celebrities on TV on this show mainly. And I decided to talk about my journey here today from a point of view of a linguist, because you're a polyglot. I'm not a polyglot, but I think it's very interesting to you and it resonates to you that everything that I've done to get to this point, I had a rough path, but I want to show you how I improved my skills and how can you do that. And also, it was always my dream to work for TV since I was a little girl. So every dream, I think, that can come true if you work really, really hard. And if you just, accept who you are. And I'm going to talk more about this later. Japanese. And honestly, even I'm talking English, it's nerve-wracking for me because it's not my native language. And of course, it's nerve-wracking, but I need to try new things. I never gave a talk in English like this, but I accepted the challenge, right, Juliana? And because making mistakes in language is normal, you know that you study, we're never going to be perfect. It's never going to be like a native like if you're not a native. So accepting that is the first part for us to improve. And recognizing that you are going to make mistakes and learn from the mistakes and move on with your life. And of course, they made me feel bad, the mistakes I made on national TV because I've made them. And also, of course, in the beginning, I was not trained enough to know what to do on TV because this is so new. Like a talk show, translating, it's something that didn't happen much on TV. So I had to learn while I was doing. And yeah, I made mistakes on national TV, but it's okay. I'm gonna make mistakes today, and it's gonna be fine. And I'm gonna show you here. This was the first interview of my voice on TV, and I hated this video. I never watched after going on air. And but right now, after 7 years, I feel like it was not so bad. I guess I was really harsh on the judgment on myself. But I wouldn't be here now if I hadn't accepted and moved on with everything that happened. It was a lot of things that happened, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of it. So this was my first video, and I'm going to show you my first and my latest one. And I want you to notice the difference. What's different? How do you feel when you hear it? It's very short. I thought I didn't care, but I do care. Anyway, because it's there, it's on YouTube. They never, our voice cannot be detached from the original because they record our voice on the studio. It's not separate. So it's going to be forever there. There's nothing I can do. But it's there. And this one was the latest one that I did with Narine. She was translating into English, and I was translating from English to Portuguese. She's the writer of the trilogy 360 Days. Have you heard about it? It is about sex. And I should let you know because you're going to hear very crazy stuff now. Can you hear from there? Yeah, because it's a little lower. Anyway, I apologize, kids in the room. Did you notice the difference? In what? You don't notice the difference? My voice. More fluid.
Not really stuttering so much, like stopping.
Exactly, like the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
And I have others bad at the first one, okay?
It was good. I found it.
Thank you. Yeah, it was not bad, but this is ideal. Like, ideally on TV, you have to have a lively voice, a good intonation, and emotion. It's all about emotion. And the word choice, of course, and the way that I actually talk to the audience. Because you see, there is an audience, and they need me to understand. Danilo understands English, it's okay, but they don't understand. And the cast, Juliana, Murilo, they don't speak English, so they need the translators to understand everything that is going on. So emotion is what makes them laugh, boo, or scream. And the translator is supposed to do that because you see that the voice of the celebrity is very, very low in the volume, and mine is higher because they need to hear me more than the original. Oh, sorry. So, have you seen other types of simultaneous translation on TV, right? Like the Oscars or the MTV Awards, all of them, because there's a lot of awards on MTV. And the difference between what I do is, on this kind of events, they only translate one direction. So, from the foreign language into Portuguese. And they work on a studio and they receive all the video and the audio from they are not there actually. They are not at the Oscars or where this is happening. They just stay in a studio, receive everything, they translate. And one direction only. They don't translate into the foreign language like we do in the Noite. Because in the Noite we need both because it's a dialogue. So always when it's a dialogue, we need two interpreters in order to make it fluid. And in this case, maybe they receive a script, maybe not, but at the Noite, I received the script beforehand. But in the first year I worked for them, we didn't receive the script because they didn't trust us. They didn't know if we were trustful enough to give us the script. So I built the trust with them a long time in order for them to give me the script before, to let me talk to the artist. Because in the first year, I didn't talk to the artist as well. I didn't go to the backstage to talk to them. Because there's one very important thing when you deal with celebrities. You have to be the way you talk, the way you move, what you say, and what you do, everything that you do, it has to be extremely professional because they don't want another fan asking for a photo or asking for an autograph. They want people who know how to behave with celebrities. And there is a lot of interpreters that don't know how to behave. And it can be a surprise to you, but it's true, because when you see someone you love, someone you're a fan, of course you want to take a picture, but you are there to work. And mostly you are there to translate. You are not there to include information, say things you are not supposed to say. I talk a lot and I really like to talk. So I really needed to breathe and say, no, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to add anything. I'm going to stick to the translation. And this is really, really hard if you think about it, because they ask us things. They want to know things. They want to, maybe sometimes you are the only person they talk to in their language. So it's normal that they want to talk to you and ask you things, many things. But you have to stick to what you're doing, which is translate. And this is something that for all the interpreters, this is something that they need to know, because in any situation, any scenario, not only with celebrities, we need to know how to behave. And also in those events, they don't have this opportunity to talk to the celebrities like I do. They only translate and they don't have this moment with them. So when I talk to them, I explain to them how simultaneous translation will happen, because some celebrities never use simultaneous translation in their lives, and we need to explain how it's going to happen, and then they get more comfortable. And we work in two separate booths because we speak at the same time. So here, the interpreters, they work in the same booth. And in the conference interpreting, they also work in the same booth because they are going to translate for 10 minutes, and then the other will translate for 20 minutes. In this case, we translate together at the same time because you see it's a dialogue. So you have to, when one is answering, the other is already asking a question. So it's totally separate. We are there by ourselves. And there is no time to research anything, to type anything. You see, I don't even use the computer because it's impossible to do anything. It's so fast that you have to be very, very focused. And if you don't know a word, well, there are techniques that interpreters use to get around it. And on TV, the equipment and the scenarios are different from conference interpreting. So the technical part is really, really a challenge. And that's why I wanted to know everything about microphones, about everything. I studied everything, every little thing, how it worked, how the audio got to me, how the audio, everything. So it is important for us to know everything that is going on. And here is just to show you how the backstage is. No audio. I was speaking in Portuguese. I was supposed to speak. No, I don't speak Spanish so well, so I spoke in Portuguese and he understood. Just so you know how it is, because we're talking person to the artist, but we don't tell them the jokes that are going to be made because we have on the script some jokes. Of course, Danilo has his own crazy head, his brain's crazy, and all the crazy jokes come out from his head out of nowhere. So they give him some jokes, but he doesn't follow through and he creates crazy things. And this is the challenge for us because we don't know what he's going to say, whether it's a joke, whether it's he's being ironic or something like this. After a while working with him, I know what he's meaning when he says something, but it's always sudden. Okay, like I told you, of course I took some pictures, but I have like over 100 celebrities that I interpreted. I think these are the only pictures I have with some artists because I had the opportunity. They were there. It just happened. But I don't ask for photographs or anything. But I had the opportunity to have pictures with the people I like. They asked to take pictures with us. Yeah, they do. Not the super famous ones, but there was one guy. He was not famous, and he was. Don't you want to take a picture of me? Yeah. Yeah. He was so nice. Okay. Oh, I have a situation. Here, I was supposed to be on this picture, but the person taking the picture didn't include me in the picture. This is Noel Gallagher. But what I really wanted to show you that because he came to me on the backstage and he thanked me for the translation. And that's what I mean. Like the picture doesn't matter. The guy talked to me and thanked me. And this is much more important than a picture for me. And this is what we have to keep in mind when we are working, to know where you are supposed to be. Oh, this is Marlon Wayans, yeah. And it's very funny, this interview, if you have the chance. And I can tell you a little secret of the backstage. But if you can, oh no, this is recorded. I can't. And on this case, when we do from here, like you see, he's laughing. So I'm translating Danilo into English, okay? And my biggest challenge and something that I really, really have to do is to provoke emotion from the guest, right? Because he needs to laugh and to move and to understand what is going on. And sometimes they don't say anything, but only when they laugh, they are understanding what's going on.
No, it's okay. It's perfect.
And like I cannot, the joke cannot fall flat. The joke has to be landed somehow. And what I do is I don't worry too much about the sentence, the structure. I don't worry about that when I'm translating. I try to put intonation. Even if I start, it's a question, but I didn't start reversing, for example, in English. Did you go? Sometimes I cannot start like this because in the original, the dialogue starts with a positive sentence, like starting without a question, and then he decides to ask a question. And I'm already inside the sentence, so I cannot change it. And I use intonation to make myself understandable. So intonation and emotion, again, it's very, very important for them to show emotions, to show their understanding, to show they are having fun, or maybe sometimes they get worried about what I'm saying. They don't know if it's correct or not because I have to say bad words. But I don't have to be 100% precise in terms of vocabulary, in terms of structure, even in terms of pronunciation, right? I can just show emotion through my words, but not being perfect, because perfect is not possible for interpretation, right? I don't think it's possible to be perfect. But the English part is only one thing when you translate to the guest. But what is really important is to connect to the Brazilian audience, like I told you. We need to provoke reactions, and I have to be funny. I have to be modern, because this is a modern TV show. So I had to think about who is listening to me in Brazil. Like, I had to stop and think, who are the people who is listening to me in Brazil? So it's the entire Brazil, and we have a lot of regional words. We have a lot of. I'm from São Paulo, so I have this accent from São Paulo, the way I talk, and I had to understand that Brazil has a language that TV talks. For example, if you see the news or other TV presenters, you know that they use a similar language between them, among them. And I try to study everything about Brazil. And the way I communicate is very important, because I'm not talking to São Paulo or Rio only, or the Northeast. I'm talking to the entire Brazil. So I cannot use words that are specific to a place. I try to avoid that. And this is very good for interpretation in general. When you know that, you avoid doing some regional, translating a regional word that not everyone would understand. So, it's simple now, but it's been a long time since I've been studying that. So what I did, I started paying attention to every little thing in Brazil. And yesterday at the happy hour, some people asked me, "Oh, what languages do you speak?" And I speak English and Portuguese. Portuguese, why? Why are you saying that? Portuguese is important for me. If I didn't study how to speak better Portuguese, I wouldn't be successful. So your language, your native language, is very, very, very important for anything you do, whether you're a translator, a professor, a teacher, anything. So yeah, I speak Portuguese and very well. It's why I say it's English and Portuguese, because I try to understand everything about Portuguese. So I had to pay attention to everything. People talking on the subway, people talking on the street. I try to talk to every type of people from everywhere in Brazil, so that I know how people communicate in real life. Because it's not only the media, the formal media is so nice. We can study, but we have to study on real life. And more than that, you have to study the trends, the memes, everything that is viral now, everything that is there on the social media. We need to know. If you work with languages, you need to know, because it's happening so fast, right? Like, with technology and the social media, the language is changing very fast. I think it's faster than before, I think. Because before, we need to wait for someone to say something on TV, and then the entire Brazil would say, "Oh, yeah, they're using that word." But now you just open your telephone, and in one day, you'll learn a lot of words that you didn't know. And like, you want to know, because everybody's saying that, and you don't know what it is. So for us, working with languages, it's very important to know the use of language, the modern use of language. Quanto tempo tem? 15? Okay. Of course, I also studied the big communicators. I really like those two, Bonner and Ana Maria. They have been on air for a long time. So I really pay attention to the way they speak, what they say, the words they use, and the pace, the rhythm. everything about them, the big communicators, we should be paying attention all the time because they determine how Brazil will understand everything. I don't think they determine, but there is a curatorship of what they say and how they're going to say, and we have to pay attention to that in our communication as well. And of course, we have to understand about the audience. And as linguists, we need to know that the language is very, very much alive. And now, especially now, I think. So I brought here some words that are very, very new. And some of them, they are already not being used. Like I have been able to translate lacrar when I translated the drag queen Ador Delano. I wanted to use that word and I used it. She said something like, "Oh, you kill it." And I said, "Ah, você lacrou." And so I was so happy I could do that. And I lacrei. But now, are you hearing people say lacrar lately?
Not anymore.
Yeah, no, not anymore. So it was like 3 years, 2 years of the use of this word. And now we have mucilon. Mucilon is very, very new. If you don't know what this is about, ask your host. Flopar, biscoiteiros. Anyway, everything that is sobre. This one is amazing.
We had to talk about it.
Oh,
2
really?
years ago.
Oh, that's nice. So, but now I think nobody's saying that, right? I don't think they are. Well, okay, I think that's going to pass. Anyway, there are so many we can try to figure it out. These are just the ones that I like and that I pay attention to. I don't like TikTok. Do you think I like scrolling on TikTok? I don't like, but I have to. I work with languages and people talk that way. The way that TikTok people talk is that way. So I need to know, I need to be aware of everything. And I think every linguist should be paying attention to all that. Verdadeiro.
What's that?
Verdadeiro is like, do you know the reality shows? When a person is there trying to win attention from the audience. So he tries to do something in order to be on the VT. VT is the video. So they try to get the attention for them. So verdadeiro. I guess this came out after Big Brother and De Férias com Ex. If you watch De Férias com Ex, that's true. You're gonna learn so many modern words. You have no idea they existed. But it is true. I really love reality shows. For me, they are the best to learn because that is the real way people talk. And they are young, free, and happy. So we're gonna get a lot of great words there. And on the Noite we have to translate bad words, right? Swear words. When I was there for the first time, the first thing they asked me, "Do you translate bad words?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I do. I don't know, never thought about it." But I come from a family that says a lot of bad words, so it's not a problem for me to have a lot of bad words in my list. But they really wanted a translator who would do that because not all the interpreters do that. That's true. They don't like it. It's like a taboo. They don't want to say something, but it's not the job of a translator to judge what he's hearing. We don't have to judge or soften what you are hearing and translating. You have to translate. And that's it. If a bad word was said, you translate. But of course, there is a level, the level of how bad it is. So you have to assess that. I have a huge glossary that I try to caralho, I can say fuck. For fuck, I can say caralho, porra, bosta. There are so many things. A very strong word, a very strong one, caralho, I think it's very strong. Porra is mild, right? And bosta is very soft. So that's true. That's true. So it depends on the person who you are translating. You have to pay attention whether the bad word was said to shock. If the bad word was said to shock the audience, go with the worst one. Caralho. Oh, fuck. Que caralho. But if the person is saying like, oh, this, well, I have an example, but I didn't bring here. I can tell you later. But if the person says, I fucking hate cheese, you cannot, maybe it's an emphasis that the person is giving. And this is the way the person talks. Maybe the person says fuck every 3 words. So you don't have to translate all the fucks to that. But one at least you have. So you can say, eu não gosto dessa merda de queijo. Okay, it's not so bad. But in Brazil, we love bad words, right?
Yeah.
You laugh when you go to the movies and there is a Brazilian movie. The audience laughs when there is a bad word. Pay attention to that. It's so crazy. But of course, in other cultures, it's not so acceptable. Like in Turkey, they don't say bad words, right? Never a bad word is said in Turkish.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are bad words, but they do not say that. There are bad words, but they just don't say that.
Like in movies.
Like very extreme, something very, very extreme. You're really, really, really pissed with someone. You say a bad word.
Thank you. And also in Korean, when we translated the K-pop group, they were terrified. They didn't want to go. They didn't want to go to the interview because they thought that Danilo would be saying a lot of bad words, and that's bad for their image. Because in Korean, it's very, very rude. So they said, "Oh, you're not gonna say," but okay, no, we're not gonna say. It's okay. We're not gonna say anything. Don't worry. We don't care. So it was very. We had to adjust everything, and because they were worried, and it's okay. So I have some tips for you if you want, because I think this is good for anybody working with languages. What I did, so the tips is based on my experience. It's not scientific, but maybe I will do a scientific work on that. But the first thing that I had to do is record myself a lot. And I record myself interpreting, of course, until today. I do that because I need to know what I'm doing. So I record and I listen and I try to be nice to me most of the time because we hate hearing our voices, right? Yeah, but I work with that. I cannot hate my voice. I cannot hate the way I speak. I have to like it. So I had to hear me a lot to like it. And one of the things that I do is my WhatsApp audio.
Yeah.
I hear myself all the time to assess what can I improve. And also reading out loud. This may seem very, very, very basic, but reading out loud changes the way you communicate. Trust me. Read to your kids, read to yourself, but read opening the mouth and actually talking in any language. Also, something that I learned is to smile when you talk, because there is a big difference when you smile and talk and when you don't. Yeah, because when you are using your voice, like I do on the show, I only have my voice. I don't have my image. I don't have the gestures to help me. So the voice has to be very, very, very much alive, very lively. And so I'm smiling when you talk makes like a miracle to everything you're doing. And the most important tip I have is be yourself. You have to accept who you are, accept your personality, accept where you came from, like your family, because the way we communicate is really related to our family, our friends, the school, the teachers, everything that we have been through when we were kids determines the way we speak. So we have to accept that. And we have to embrace our personality, because when we embrace our personality, accept who we are, our delivery of the communication gets better. And trust me, I didn't like anything about my voice, about anything I was doing. And when I accepted it, I said, oh, I cannot change some things. I cannot. So let me accept that and use my advantage. Well, I have some parts that I said it was a very rough path. So can you read? You think? I'm gonna read for you.
You can read it.
Oh, it's so nice to read that. What a terrible translator. She skips a lot of important information and I cannot hear in English and she doesn't translate. These are some parts that I took from the YouTube videos. And there are a lot of it. And also, of course, there are some people saying good things about it. But this simultaneous translation is horrible. I want subtitles. Please use subtitles. I want to hear the voice of the artist. So in the beginning, these kind of messages, they made me feel so bad. I got really depressed. I got the imposter syndrome very, very strong on me, but very, very much. I started studying interpretation more, and I had some teachers who encouraged me because of my English or because of anything, and I felt like shit for real. But I didn't give up because I really, really wanted to improve. I really wanted to be on the job was my dream job. So what I did, I really I started doing therapy, not being around bad people. It's good. And being around good people. And one of the things that I've done was to change my habits. So I became more disciplined. All the things that you know, sleeping 8 hours, exercising, eating good, eating healthy. I really did that because I was not like that. So changing my habits changed my life and changed my career. I improved a lot. And of course, I still feel the imposter syndrome sometimes, I do. But now I know that it's just a feeling. And of course, I go to therapy once a week so that I can like be better, feel better. And wait a minute, let me say something before this. Anyway, I'm concluding now. How many? Sorry. Okay. So how can a professional achieve success and remain successful for a long period of time? I can tell you that people are not hired because they are the best. Okay. Clearly, I was not the best. I'm still not the best. And there is no such a thing as the best. You know, I think what differentiates people, professionals, is how hard you work, and you need to have soft skills. Like I told you in the beginning, you have to know how to behave, what to say, what not to say, and you need to develop the soft skills. You know, you have to know how to talk to a celebrity. The same way you need to know how to talk to the technician that helps you. You need to be nice to everyone. And you need to have the soft skills more than the hard skills. The hard skills are the technical skills. But I have been around people with very good hard skills, but no soft skills at all. So I don't hire them anymore. Yeah, because some people have big ego and
So you are,
they are not humble.
you are the boss of
The boss now. No, more than being a boss, I really, really, really want to be around good people because I felt so bad for so many times, for such a long time that really now I just want to be around good people and be happy and do my job. That's all I want to do. I don't want to be famous. I don't want anything. And I've learned that the hard way, but it's important to know we need to stay humble in anything we do, everything we do. And yeah, everybody wants to be with professional people, people who work hard, and everybody wants to be with people like this, right? So I think that I learned that I realized that I could turn great interpreters into I could turn good human beings into great interpreters. And thanks to Karine, Karine is like one of my mentors as well. And thanks to her and Fernanda Vitarelli as well, don't hide. Yeah, because she connected me to her, and that's why I'm here today. Because they trusted me, they trusted my work. They didn't judge me. She said she judged me. She judges me to help. Yeah. But anyway, Karini has some courses, and one of the courses she invited me to teach on is the media interpreting course, which is a course for interpreters to train media skills. But this course is mostly for people who are already interpreting, right? Yeah, so the course is from Glossa, her company. I don't know if you saw her talk, but this is she here. And I'm so glad she did that because now we are training people like Faustão, who we trained him and he went to the show like 2 months later to work. But if he wasn't trained before, maybe he wouldn't be confident enough, right? I think. And I wouldn't be confident to hire you if I didn't see you working and studying so hard because that's true. There is no such a thing as the best. There are only trained and good people. And yeah, okay, that's my journey. Thank you so much. Do you have questions? And this is for the course. If you want to access the course website, no, the course ticket, right? We're going to have another edition of the course on February in São Paulo. And do you have questions?
Yeah, I have a question. You rock. Você lacrou aqui. So my question is, how much of your work is media interpreting and how much is conference interpreting?
Good question. It depends, but I mostly work with conference interpreting and remote simultaneous interpretation.
Yeah.
Because you know the TVs and the podcasts, they are kind of cheap. You know, we think that they're very rich, but sometimes they don't have the money to get all the structure we need because we need the booth, we need all the equipment that is different than the traditional ones. So it's not easy to. Everybody wants to have simultaneous translation on a podcast, but not every podcast can pay for it. So I mostly do conference interpreting.
Okay.
Sorry, just a small curiosity.
Yeah, sure.
It's because,
Oh my God, I know.
so you were talking both in English and Portuguese sometimes because of the some words you need to translate. How
Você pode
the
puxar.
interpreter has to translate that? So how can he or she review? Yeah, that they're not supposed to translate or they translate both times. I don't know because I was.
Yeah, it depends. Like in this case, when she was translating from English to Portuguese, she didn't have to translate the words in Portuguese I was saying. But in the Spanish one, I don't know how she got it, but yeah, that was tricky. It depends. Like on the show, when the artist says something in Portuguese, like sometimes, oh, do you know how to say brigadeiro in Portuguese? Ah, yes, I know, brigadeiro. And then we don't translate when the celebrity is saying something in Portuguese. We let them talk. But I know what you mean, but it's a kind of complex, I think, to explain. I'll explain you later a little bit more about it. She has
Cláudia.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, that was like a great presentation. And I'm just taking the chance to, thank you for the first opportunity that I had to interpret on TV. That was a great opportunity. Italian, it was a bit on you, so it was really cool. And speaking of like backstage stories with the artists of, how interpreters have to behave themselves, you know, when they interact with artists. Do you have like any funny stories? There's one I really like, and if you'd like to share, if you can share, the one about the one about Melanie C in the bathroom.
Oh.
Do you think you can share that with
What
us?
is that, like this?
No, she was not rude. That he wanted to talk to her so bad, but
Oh,
just
yeah.
couldn't.
That's true.
Do you remember that? That's such a nice story.
Oh yeah, I really love the Spice Girls. Actually, my first translated text was a Spice Girl song, and Melanie C was on the show, and I was going to translate her, and I did. And I really, really, really wanted to tell her how much I loved her. She was my favorite Spice Girl. I wrote a kilometric letter for her when I was 14 years old, and I was so nervous that I decided to not say anything and to not talk to her, and I just didn't even see her because I would be a fool. I would be making a fool of myself, I think, and I couldn't do that. And actually, she was not rude, but she was very focused, and so it wouldn't work if I would be there saying, "Oh, I was a fan." So I decided to not even see her. That's okay. And I have another one, Michael B. Jordan. He went to the show and I was on the backstage and he was wearing a shirt with buttons. And he asked me, what do you think? Should I open or close it? So take it off. Sure. So now if you go watch the interview, he's with the button open because of
Just one more question, okay, Claudia?
Ele vai abrir aqui, ó.
No, not yet. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would like to congrats you.
Bem.
It was a very good speech. You were very funny
I told her.
and lovely. I would like to ask you, what piece of advice would you give for the teachers, for interpreters, which are interpreting speeches that speak so too fast?
I have an advice. I have a good one, very good one. There is nothing you can do, and never say, "Can you speak slower, please?" No, a lot of people do that. A lot of interpreters do that. When you say, "Can you speak slower?" What happens? Nothing. The way the person speaks is the way the person speaks. But of course, I know what you're asking. We have techniques to cut if the person talks too fast, and we normally try to focus on the main message. So it's impossible to translate everything the person is saying. So you try to understand and just translate the whole picture, but not details. So one technique I use is keeping the adjectives. I don't focus on the adjectives because sometimes there are so many and they are not important for the whole picture. So I just cut them and I just go to whatever is very important to be translated. But yeah, please never ask somebody to speak slower. I have seen many times this happening and nothing happens. The person speaks slower for 10 seconds. I'm going, okay, the translator is asking me to speak slower. Oh, okay, I'm going to speak slower. And then I will, it's impossible. People don't do that. So there's no way we can fix that. Thank you. I have stickers of the card. It's a TV. So if you want, can you pass around? Thank you.